What's up, lovelies? Welcome one more time to The Making of Emma, a series of videos I intend to do on a regular basis to keep you updated about my process of adapting Jane Austen's Emma to graphic novel in the style of Dunyeth Comics. In this episode number 3, I will be sharing with you a little bit about the process of thumbnailing. You don't know what that is? Well, I'll show you. I hope you like it. Thumbnailing it down. Being an important part of the creative process, thumbnail drawings are tiny little sketches most artists use to map out the general composition of a larger work, in this case, a graphic novel. These sketches are typically very raw, unpolished doodles the size of a thumb. Well, I have pixie-sized fingers, so I typically make my thumbnails a bit larger. If you watch episode 1 of this video series, you might remember I mentioned that before you start properly drawing your pages, it's important to have them fully planned out. Remember how I mentioned the importance of having a final page count that is divisible by 4? Remember I showed you how I plan a page's layout by figuring out panels and lettering before I even start working on the actual pages? Well, all of these things get solved during the vital pre-production stage process of thumbnailing. Thumbnail drawings are meant to assist artists by helping them map out the story and figure out page composition at the same time. Graphic novels and comics, being pure visual storytelling, must rely on panels and lettering interventions to move the plot forward. This is why it's important to plan ahead how many panels would work best per page, which panel size combination will make the page more dynamic and interesting, and how much dialogue would fit each panel without cluttering the page. The pacing is determined during the thumbnailing stage since it provides a full view of the composition per page. Yes, the drawings inside each panel should be well composed in themselves, but each panel should visually work with all the other panels around them. In short, thumbnails help you make the right decisions before it's too late. Thumbnails are meant to be very simple and sketchy. Some artists like using a bit of color, and some prefer focusing on pencil doodles that merely indicate the values, meaning where the lights and the shadows go in grayscale without worrying about color just yet. I use a combination of both depending on if I need to denote specific colors for certain things or so. Since I already have my finished script, I can begin my process of dividing it loosely into pages to start composing the final work in these tiny, messy sketches that will allow me to bring my ideas to life in a quick, easy-to-edit way. Doodling tiny sketches, I give myself a general idea of what I want to do with each page. I question myself what's the best way to go about a page, and I use thumbnails to find the answers. Do I need 5 panels to fit a moment in the story on the same page to avoid breaking its momentum? Do I want a full-size panel to introduce Mr. Knightley to the story? Or how about a borderless panel to present Harriet Smith for the first time? What if she's holding a basket of goods that the Martin girls gave her when she left Abbey Mill Farm to return to Mrs. Goddard's school? As you can see, thumbnails are a very useful way to brainstorm on paper, or tablet if you're a digital artist like me. Take a look at this sequence of quick sketches I did for the beginning of the novel. We open with a full-page panel that introduces the main character, quoting the description Jane Austen wrote in the opening paragraph of the book. Using a thumbnail drawing, I'm able to speculate what I want to represent visually. Emma is out in the gardens picking flowers. There is a beautiful arch of climbing roses and flowers everywhere. Sometimes I write notes to accompany the thumbnails so I don't forget to explore an idea after my doodle. For example, the predominant colors I like to work with, the facial expression of the character if it's not clear in the doodle, or suggestions regarding the background details. Moving on to the next pages, we can see a very raw, doodly general idea of the visual composition. I have divided the script into panels, captions, and lettering, and thanks to the thumbnails, I'm able to see the pages side by side to make sure the layout is clean, dynamic, and interesting enough to captivate the reader's attention. As you can tell, I love playing with different panel sizes, and I often mix bordered and borderless panels on the same page to enhance specific moments, introduce important characters, or highlight a famous quote from the book. It's all about planning, brainstorming, mapping out, and editing to ensure the story fits in the panels and that these capture the script in a final page count that meets the requirements for printing. I could talk forever about the process of thumbnailing, but I hope this video gets to show how vital the early stages of pre-production are in order to achieve success. Because once you cross that bridge, once you start working on the actual sketching, inking, coloring, lettering, there's no going back. And it's truly heartbreaking putting all that work only to find out that your final page count does not meet the requirements for the printing process. So before you put yourself through that torture, make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Make sure that the script fits in the panels and the panels fit in the final page count. It's all about following the steps and taking as much time as you need to make sure that each and all of these steps are working towards the bigger goal. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been one more episode of The Making of Emma. The holidays are around the corner, so you won't see me in December. Next time you'll see me will be in January with a brand new episode about character design. Until then, happy holidays if you celebrate, and see you soon.